Natalia Ricci tonight. Toronto gets ready to ring in 2024.
This year, we have activities all along the waterfront.
We'll tell you about things you can do to celebrate the new year without breaking the bank. Plus,
these things are not operating, and we are just stuck in this rain.
no snow, no skiing. How resorts are coping with the slow start of the outdoor sports season. And
I think it's hard to put into words even. It's historic. It's, a moment for women's sports.
we catch up with a few players ahead of the first game in the new Professional Women's Hockey League. Thanks for joining us. With the new year just around the corner, Toronto is in high gear preparing to celebrate. The city says it's offering residents everything you need to welcome 2024. Tyler Cheese has more.
While some have big plans to ring in the new year,
I am going to a drag show in Kitchener.
We're going to the CN Tower to have dinner there and see the view.
others say they're planning to keep a low profile.
I'm doing absolutely nothing. I'm getting a great night's sleep.
Yeah, not going out, don't want to spend the money. It's crazy out there.
But if the cost of going out is all that's keeping you in, you may want to check out what the city has in store.
This year, we have activities all along the waterfront.
There will be 7 designated viewing areas for this year's fireworks display. Those are listed on the city's website.
We will have DJ sets with Cosmic Cat and Sophia Fly beginning from 10 p.m. And then starting at 11:30, we have a countdown webcast co-hosted by the amazing drag performer Tainomi Banks and local artist, activist, producer, director Sandia Fiati.
If you don't want to go out in the cold but still want to take part, the show will be live streamed on the city's YouTube channel. And for those who are planning to attend, city officials recommend taking transit instead of driving. In order to keep the roads safe, both the TTC and Go Transit are offering free service all night long. That starts at 7 p.m. for both services. Tyler Cheese, CBC News, Toronto.
OPP will be out in full force this New Year's weekend with its Ride campaign, trying to stop impaired drivers on the road. The province has seen a concerning jump in the number of impaired driving charges this year. Jamie Strachan takes a look at the impact it's having on some families.
Christmas was supposed to be a special time for Marjolaine Rochelot to be with her grandson Jaden. Instead, she spent the holiday at the hospital after the car the 7-year-old was in was struck by another vehicle.
And it took a good 30 minutes for the firefighters with the jaws of life to extract him from the car.
Ottawa police arrested a 23-year-old man at the scene and charged him with impaired driving causing bodily harm.
I don't understand that in 2023, we still need to tell people you're not supposed to drink and drive.
Jaden has already undergone multiple surgeries, his pelvis broken in 4 different places.
The people that are getting hurt and the people that are dying.
The OPP says crashes involving impairment are on the rise. In the week leading up to Christmas, it laid around 200 impaired driving charges, bringing the total to more than 10,000 for the year, 16% more than last year. 49 people have died.
And many of those people who died were not the person that was actually consuming the drugs or alcohol. They get caught up in the aftermath of a wreck, and it's absolutely tragic.
One possible reason behind the spike, the OPP says, is that in recent years, police can test sobriety even if they can't smell alcohol.
And drivers can expect, if they go through a ride check, that they will be asked to provide a sample of their breath, even if they haven't been drinking.
Another issue, say advocates, is some people think they're more fit to drive after smoking or consuming marijuana versus drinking.
We've had people tell us that they're better drivers after smoking cannabis. The research is clear that there is a connection between consumption of cannabis and your ability to drive.
For Jaden, the impact of those who do choose to get behind the wheel is very real.
I can't wait for the next Christmas to have time with him and to play and, watch movies and just enjoy having him around, because right now the house feels pretty empty without him.
Jamie Strachan, CBC News, Toronto.
6 people are facing charges tonight after York Police, working with Canada Border Services, recovered more than 24 stolen vehicles worth millions of dollars.
This investigation began in November of 2023 when information came to light that there were some stolen vehicles in a parking lot in Mississauga. And our investigators then began conducting a more in-depth investigation into the overall behavior, and they were able to track stolen vehicles to other locations where the stolen vehicles were being taken, where they're being stored.
Investigators executed search warrants earlier this month in Mississauga, where they found stolen vehicles inside shipping containers. In all, 25 vehicles with a value of $2.2 million were seized. Taking the 407 will become more expensive in the new year. Starting in February, drivers will have to pay more to use the highway between Burlington and Pickering after a 4-year rate freeze. Tolls for light vehicles, which includes most passenger cars and light-duty trucks, will increase between 1 and 11 cents per kilometer. The exact rate depends on the time of day and the zone traveled. Well, it should be a busy time of year at ski resorts, but a recent spate of mild weather has put a damper on outdoor sports. Anam Khan checks in with a couple of businesses about the unusual start to the season.
Lots of greenery, a lack of snow, and only one busy bunny hill. It's not the usual late December scene at one of Ontario's most popular ski resorts.
We were kind of expecting a little bit more snowy conditions.
Yeah, we're from Colorado. We came here for a ski trip with the family, so it's kind of sucks that not going to be able to ski today.
These students plan to ski for the first time since they moved from India this year.
These things are not operating, and we are just stuck in this rain.
The mild winter across Ontario means many ski hills do not have any natural snow to work with.
For a lot of ski areas, the holidays are prime time, right? That is a real kickoff to the season and when a lot of people plan to be hitting the slopes.
According to Blue Mountain's website, only one of the 43 trails are currently open. The company says it's limited to how much snow it can make because of the weather. There's a whole science behind the right temperature and humidity level needed to make snow.
A snowmaking window with ideal temperatures and conditions could be short. It could be at 2 a.m. It could, and we want to take advantage of it as soon as it's there.
Blue Mountain launched a multi-million-dollar snowmaking system this summer where it installed high-efficiency snow guns on its main trails. Now, it's at the mercy of Mother Nature. In the meantime, the business is relying on its restaurants and lodges. But not all ski resorts have other activities they can fall back on to keep their business going. The general manager of Snow Valley's ski resort in Barrie says his resort only has 5 out of 20 hills currently running.
Oh my goodness, our life is uncertainty.
He hopes this season is similar to last year, where the snow arrived later than expected, and business turned out okay in the end.
One thing I can tell you about the ski business is you will drive yourself crazy if you're going to measure things on a day-to-day basis instead of trying to measure it at the end of the season.
The resorts are already feeling optimistic about temperatures dropping this week. The plan is to be making snow tonight. Anam Khan, CBC News, Toronto.
And Victor Paulo joins us now with the first look at the forecast. And Victor, I think everyone wants to know how we're starting the new year.
Talia, we're expecting some snow coming over the New Year's Eve night, and that snow is going to be a nice change from all that rain that's been falling over the GTA. Now look at a couple of headlines. It will be a cloudy weekend, followed up by some New Year's Eve snow, and then we're going to have a sunny ways to start our New Year's because it's going to be some clear skies and sunny days. Now, here's what the average temperatures look like this time of year. For today, December 29th, -1 is your average high and -8.9 is your average low. Remember those two numbers when we're looking at our 3- and 7-day forecast. Now, here's what your overnight will be looking like. As you can see, it will be remaining cloudy, and those cloudy skies will eventually lead to a similar story for your Saturday. Saturday is going to be a day where there'll be periods where it'll be pretty sunny, as you can see right here, but then mainly it's going to look like this, where it is cloudy. Now, there will be no rain, no snow we're expecting for Saturday, but when it comes to Sunday, here's what you will be expecting: a mix of rain and a mix of snow, which will create some slippery conditions. And as we get towards midnight, it will still be snowing, and we're expecting that snow to stop closer to 3-4 in the morning for your Monday. Now, here's what it's looking like for your 3-day forecast. We're expecting a bit of sun and cloud on Saturday. We're expecting that snow to come in on Sunday for your New Year's Eve, and then New Year's will be a sunny one. We're expecting a high of 0 and a low of -4, but stay tuned to Talia and I see what else is in store for your 2024 weather. Over to you, Talia.
Thanks, Victor. A Toronto startup is speeding into the rail industry. Transpot is developing new technology that it says will make train travel as fast as plane travel in the next decade. Ali Chiasson visited the West End office of the tech innovator to learn more.
Transpod is an ultra-high-speed transportation system being developed in Canada to carry passengers between cities at over 1,000 kilometers per hour.
In a city where transit projects miss deadlines and hemorrhage money amid low ridership and inconsistent service, it's hard to imagine such a high-tech, high-speed commuter future.
We're magnetically levitating it, and we have special engines and special power systems. It's fully electrically powered, but we have this crazy technology using plasma to get power to the vehicle.
To understand how it works, let's go to a model of one of the arm mechanisms that will line the outside of the vehicle.
Imagine my arm is the power rail, like on a subway or a streetcar or a high-speed train, but this thing does not want to touch it. It wants to stay exactly at the right distance there, even when the vehicle is going up and down a little bit or side to side. And so with the special technology that we have, you don't see it here, we create that plasma with very high voltages.
That glowy stuff, that's the plasma. To dumb it all the way down, essentially it's achieved
with some very fancy control systems and physics.
The vehicle looks like a plane without wings and would travel along an elevated structure.
The Transpod line is pretty similar, most of it, to the Vancouver SkyTrain.
Downtown stations will be serviced at reasonable speeds. It will kick into high gear to get out of town, to the airport and beyond.
Quebec, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, and then Detroit and Chicago. That would be the ultimate goal.
The amount of time it would take between cities on a Transpod train would be about the equivalent to how long it takes to fly from one to the other. Transpod also aims to be privately funded.
Because we can mix both freight and passengers.
And even though it's a homegrown innovation from the brilliant minds working out of a West End Toronto warehouse, it's the government of Alberta who signed on to build the first test track between Calgary and Edmonton.
And what does that say?
It's interesting when it comes to be open for business, and the culture, the entrepreneurial spirit is stronger in those regions.
But as long as Transpod has some wins on the test track, this could be the next big Canadian tech triumph.
We have some of the top physicists, engineers in all of these different fields, from aerospace sector, from the railway world, from construction, and we're really combining all of those key experts in the talent pool to make this a reality. We're trying to be that hive of innovation.
Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Toronto.
Welcome back. As we get ready for the new year this weekend, it's also time to get ready for some new laws in Ontario. That includes a regulation requiring all childcare operators to outline what steps they will take when a child does not arrive or is not picked up as expected. The changes are intended to prevent tragedies such as a child inadvertently being left in the backseat of a hot car. Ontario's Information and Privacy Commissioner will also be allowed to fine individuals or organizations who inappropriately access or share a patient's personal health information. While most community newspapers across the city have shut down due to declining revenues, Toronto's West End Phoenix continues to thrive. We tagged along on one of the team's delivery days to learn more about their success.
We asked ourselves the question about, what would it feel like if something tumbled on your porch every month, every 6 weeks, that was something that you couldn't wait to open and to read. Hi, my name is Dave Bedini. I'm the publisher of West End Phoenix. West End Phoenix is a print community newspaper. We have thousands of subscribers in the area, and we mail copies of the paper right around the world, right across Canada, and today is delivery day. Yeah. We started the paper because there used to be a lot of community newspapers in Toronto, in the neighborhoods, and they all were purchased by a single company and then gouged of all content. They became glorified flyers. So we were inspired by kind of the demise of the form and had a chance to reinvent it a little bit with what we do. 7 years. It's crazy. We thought if we made it out of the first year, we would have been thrilled.
And you made it through the pandemic.
Which was insane. We did pickup, delivery, and production pretty much out of my garage, even in the winter months. I think that's a really kind of the greatest story of the West End Phoenix is the delivery volunteers that show up, like no matter what the weather, and we pack their bags full of newspapers and they head out into the neighborhood. It's neighbors writing about the neighborhood in a newspaper that's delivered through the neighborhood by neighbors. I think is how it goes.
I think I've missed one delivery when we were away, but other than that, rain or shine. I think it's important for the neighborhood to have a community newspaper because there isn't anything like this out there, specifically for the West End, but you know, we deliver to the East End too. It's like a small but very tangible thing that you can do to deliver to your neighbors, you know, every month.
We just wanted to remind people that making stuff is fun. Whether it's, you know, a painting or writing a song or making a newspaper, because the industry and the nature of the craft is so stressed. We wanted to show people that you could have fun doing it as well, I think.
And you're looking at a live shot of our city right now. Let's get back to Victor Paulo with our long-range forecast. And Victor, it seems like we're finally in for a bit of a cool down.
We saw a lot of the country was looking pretty green, but we can see Ontario coming down to southeast Ontario is finally turning blue. And that's going to be why we're going to be experiencing a little bit of snow, which will be coming our way on Sunday for New Year's Eve, because finally things are getting back to the wintry type feel. Now, when it comes to tonight, speaking of cold, it's going to be -2, feeling like -6, and it will be cloudy with periods of clear skies. But if you are going to be out tonight, make sure you got a coat, scarf. You want to stay warm because it will be getting cold. Now, here's what we're looking at when it comes to the weather and what's coming our way on New Year's Eve. You can see that Saturday is going to be a day where it's going to be a mix of sun and cloud. There's going to be some periods where it's going to be really cloudy, like when we start off our day, but as you get closer to midday, around 2, 3, 4 o'clock, there will be periods where you get to see that sun creep through. But as you do get later on into the night when it comes to Saturday, the clouds will get back and it's going to be cloudy as you start your day on Sunday. The reason of all of that is because there's coming some our way is going to be some snow. Some snow is going to eventually hit the GTA, mix of rain, a mix of snow, right around after supper. So if you have plans to do any traveling, make sure you plan ahead because the roads will not be the best. Now, speaking of the roads, it's going to be pretty snowy, and that snow is going to continue all the way until about 2, 3 in the morning. As you can see closer to midnight, the return of that rain, the return of that snow mix is coming back to the GTA. So of course, road conditions won't be the best. So if you are planning to go out for New Year's Eve, make sure you do have a ride planned ahead or even maybe taking a taxi because of course, the road conditions will be, of course, the best with a mix of rain and snow and the continual snow that'll be happening till about 2, 3 in the morning. Now, taking a look at how much rain we're expecting between now and let's say New Year's Eve, well, not that much rain. We're expecting about 2 millimeters to fall here in the GTA between now and then. But looking at our 3-day forecast for the rest of 2023, well, it's going to be a mix of sun and cloud on Saturday. It's going to be a low of -3. Sunday is going to be a snowy day. As you can see, it's going to be a high of 0 with a low of -3. And as you just saw right there, a mix of rain and snow closer to midnight and also right after supper. Now, Monday is going to be a sunny day to start 2024. And look at the rest of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It will be a sunny start to 2024 with a high of 3 degrees on Tuesday, low of 0, high of 4 with a mix of sun and cloud, and low on 0 on Thursday. And then eventually the temperatures will drop as you do see a low of -5 on Thursday with a high of 2, and of course -2 with a low of -5 on Friday. Hope you all have yourselves a happy new year. And over to you, Talia.
Thanks, Victor. The Toronto Zoo is welcoming a new addition to the white rhino family. A calf was born yesterday morning to 14-year-old Sabby. It's her first baby, and for the team at the zoo, it was a long-awaited arrival.
The natural 60 months are a long go, but the excitement just kept climbing, you know, as we got close to Christmas Day, not knowing when the special day would be.
There's first-time mom Sabby with her newborn who is already up and moving around the pen. The white rhino is considered a near-threatened species. Canada fell to Sweden 2-0 at the World Junior Championship in Gothenburg today. Noah Ostlund scored the winning goal late in the second period.
Now Wahlberg walks in. Dropped off, looking at Mackie. Long shot. So Sandra going to score! Noah Ostlund pokes it home, and Sweden takes a 2-0 lead.
It was the first loss of the tournament for Canada, which earlier beat Finland and Latvia. Sweden also won its previous 2 games and now has the top spot in Group A. The team hasn't allowed a single goal in 3 games. Canada plays next on Sunday against Germany. And we're just days away from the first game in the new Professional Women's Hockey League. It will feature our Toronto team hosting New York on New Year's Day. Greg Ross caught up with some of the players as they prepare for the historic game.
Some fine-tuning on the ice. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the equipment staff is making sure everything is ready to go. After a training camp that lasted a month and a half, the players say they are as prepared as they can be.
We're ready. I think the good thing about our group is that we understand that there's going to be challenges and obstacles that we'll face, but we're ready to overcome them as a team.
You know, I think it's been great for us to be able to get together as a team and get to know each other as hockey players and people, and obviously it's brand new, and so I think having the time to be able to spend together on and off the ice has been great, and honestly, I think now that we're here, it's actually felt pretty fast.
On Monday, Toronto's PWHL team will play its first meaningful game. In fact, it's the first ever PWHL game. It's history in the making, something that is not lost on the players.
I think it's hard to put into words even. It's historic. It's, you know, a moment for women's sports.
It's something that's historic for our group of players, but it's historic for the group of players that came before us, and it's historic for the group of players that'll come after us. I think it's a huge moment for our sport.
I just feel really fortunate that us and all our teammates, we get to be the ones to lace up our skates on Monday and then get to have that first game.
Toronto will host New York in the opener at noon on New Year's Day, meaning it's going to be a quiet New Year's Eve for this team.
It's a holiday for the rest of the world, but for us it's the night before our first game in this league, so I think that's our main focus.
I think most of us will be in our beds. I don't know that any of us will stay up till midnight to watch the ball drop or anything like that.
Monday's inaugural game is a complete sellout. In fact, the Toronto team says all of their games for the entire season have been sold out.
I've been getting asked for tickets from friends and family even, and obviously there's not that many tickets to be had now, so I think that's so exciting and just shows that, you know, we do have a good product and people want to watch it.
Greg Ross, CBC News, Toronto.
Finally tonight, we're all getting ready to say goodbye to 2023, but in New York today, people had a special opportunity to get their true feelings out.
We are saying goodbye to 2023 for Good Riddance Day here in Times Square. Devontae, make 2023 disappear. Wow.
Passers-by are encouraged to write down any of the negative things that have happened this year and then hand over the paper and ask a magician to make it disappear. And that's our show for you tonight. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.